Hello, welcome to the Chain Gang, Donny Chain Gang, coming to you, and you might recognise that theme tune. It's the original Tour de France theme from the 1980s. Welcome to Oakley August. We're here with loads more giveaways as well. Got to say a massive thank you. The orange logo on this t-shirt, the Oakley logo, matching the 1080 logo on there. They're the guys, Ian Taylor and the gang, doing the business and looking after everybody. We've got more to give away, so there's going to be some more t-shirts. Let me show you some of the fantastic t-shirts. There are two which I resisted putting on this time. This Oakley one, and as you can see, the most important thing is it actually has moisture control in here. Might be needed down here in the studio. It's absolutely baking down here today. And the other one, of course, with the top quality. Oh, and yes, I do say that because, yeah, got the Oakleys on and the Oakley hat, and I needed this today. I've been out fettling with bikes, great Yorkshire phrase. Fettling, and it's the sort of phrase that one particular man would have definitely got into his commentary, and that is Mike Smith. For those of you that missed the news, Mike Smith, the Eurosport commentator, man who hosted a lot of the bike races that we've seen Russ and Dina over the years, passed away suddenly with a heart attack, and we've all got our own fond memories of Mike. And my condolences out to his family. Certainly remember us both being under pressure and not being afraid to exchange words, let's say, when we both wanted to get our respective jobs done on the start line of the Oakley Grand Prix, and we had about 15 minutes from the road closing to getting everything out there, and we managed it. But I think Mike and I's friendship at that point took a little bit of a knock, because Mike wanted to be on the mic and we didn't have a microphone ready because we just didn't have the time. So we talked a lot rather than talked into the microphone a lot, let's say. But a great man on the mic, and he will be sadly missed, if only because he was the man who kept me from being Lanterne Rouge at a number of events in Yorkshire. So going to be really interesting to see what happens. First of all, before we head over to the course, we need to have a chat to another legend of Yorkshire cycling, and a man who no doubt remembers Mike well, and that is going to be Russ. You can just see him up on your screen at the moment, no watch, which is always a good sign. It might be that he's putting the headphones in and he's ready to have a chat. We'll soon find out. It's when it rings and they get no answer. That's the tech working, and Russ not picking up. We shall see. Bang on 5 minutes to go to the event. Now, here we go. Hello, Russ, how are you? It sounds like he's in a wind tunnel. Oh, it sounds like it's a bit windy in Paris. I think the heat is killing him. We shall soon find out. No, Russ, take strikes again. We'll soon see. He'll probably give us a call back. So this week we are in Paris, and we are in Paris for the Champs-Élysées course. This course is a really popular course, and we're just going to see if we can get Russ once more on the phone. So we'll let that ring. Whilst we are in Paris, let's have a go. Russ, are you alive? Are you in one piece? It's not sounding good, is it? I think Russ is in the bottom of a well, or maybe he's just got so much fan power from his Swift fan that he's from his Wahoo headwind, he's not getting anything. So I think we'll be giving Russ a little bit of a break at the moment. It is absolutely baking out there, and we'll let him get cooled down first of all. We won't harass him on the phone any more than we have done already. So, going to Paris on the Champs-Élysées, a crit stage basically, a long crit stage because it uses what is the finishing circuit for the Tour de France, hence the theme at the start of the programme. And remember, that theme is iconic for a reason. Now, we'll give Russ third time lucky. Hello, Russ.
Bonsoir.
Ah, bonsoir, comment ça va? How are you doing, lad?
I'm a bit hot.
I bet you are. I was just telling everybody we managed to get onto the Champs-Élysées. We've had a little bit of the original Tour de France theme tune to open the show. We've had a little mention of the late, great Mike Smith, who was commentator for many years from Yorkshire and on Eurosport. And now we're in Paris, so we're doing the rounds tonight.
Yeah, I think my earphones were a bit warm or something. I could hear you, but they weren't really working. So
N-
unplug reset. But yeah, we're here in Paris, and yeah, we've got a grand chaleur or whatever they say in French.
Indeed, and we
So
are one of the first.
warm.
Yeah, we are one of the first events on the Champs-Élysées circuit, aren't we? Other than the virtual Tour de France and the Etape de Tours.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I've just been on for a quick, I think 20 minutes, and there were like over 1,500 people on there, so it's going to be nice to bowl around here as a Donny Chain Gang, you know. Yeah, it should be good fun.
Definitely, and it's going to be a warm one. It is absolutely roasting. It is reminiscent of France in July, that's for sure. And it's about 30 degrees outside when I stuck my head outside just now, so definitely a warm one. Are you going to be giving away Oakley prizes on the basis of who sweats the most, who's got the biggest puddle at the end of this?
I think yeah, who sends the biggest stat in on the altimeter gauge?
Yeah, might have to be.
You know, joking apart, we're going to have to. I just said put a cap on it tonight. You know, we go crazy. We're all going to explode, and we're all going to be yeah, heading for the fridge, like people are saying on the chat. But you know, it's meant to be storming now, so I was kind of thinking, yeah, that'd be nice, but it's not. The weather's changed, and there's no rain, but we've still got what 66 guys or something logged on at the minute. So
Yep, keep it on ticking on, isn't it?
That's not a bad hit to say it's 29 degrees and glorious outside.
Yep.
Yeah, everyone's crazy, I think.
Indeed, and we've got some very quick riders coming in, seeing quite a lot of familiar names on here, including the man who rolled you last time. I'm sure he didn't get any of the goodies from 1080. The fat cyclist who took you out on the line in London on Thursday. Is it revenge night tonight?
He was saying, yeah, he don't go uphill very well. He doesn't drink kilos, so that's why he took me out. I think he just put the pedal around with one leg, and he still beat me. So
well, it's an uphill sprint tonight, isn't it?
It's a great ride there.
Not going to happen.
Catch him, and I went all in, and he got the old Swift effect and just rolled me on. I didn't sit up. He just got me. So yeah, fair and square.
Well, I better let you go and get your foot down, mate. With 2 seconds to go, it is roll-out time on the Donny Chain Gang. Have a good one, buddy.
We're off skiing. Someone's attacked straight out of blocks already. So
Oh, it looks like it's that Clarky again. He's on it. Right, good luck, mate.
Vas-y, as they would say in French.
Yeah, allez, allez.
Yes.
Well, Russ, just diving off. So whilst guys just get the pack together, we're going to jump across to the map and the map of the Champs-Élysées circuit. It is a pretty important one to see because we've got a long roll in now. You can see that the red loop round the bottom is a full roll in. It's well over 3k before heading up onto the loop around the top of the Champs-Élysées, around the Arc de Triomphe before dropping down and around to complete the lap. The sprint is on its way up towards the top. Very, very interesting circuit. And anyone who says it's flat, they're fibbing. Watch this. This is the profile. Now, it looks like all of the climbing is at the long run in. So as it goes uphill, and a massive, massive thank you to VeloViewer for this, because VeloViewer's stats are amazing. Not just my job, but all the team managers, all the team guys are all on it. All the pro teams there, whether you're in with Ineos, whether you're out with a team like Benjenko, Big Benjenko with the Grand Tour Coffee guys. Big thank you, Ben. Just kept me going. I've been on full gas today, mate. Just in case you're wondering, a great blend. The circuit, you're going to need to be full gas. You join the circuit and rolled around the lower section, the looped section. You dip down underneath the underpass at the back of the gardens before heading around and on to the section that takes you up to the top where the Arc de Triomphe is. On the way up, you go through the line and through the sprint line before dropping back down the far side at speed. Now, we've exaggerated the height slightly. It is about 2 to 3%, but having ridden this yesterday and today, just as well as beforehand, just to try and make sure we got this course down, it really is quite a tough course, and we are going to find it's going to split apart. Also, because it's only 6.6k long, with a 3.2 leading, what we're going to find is we're going to find people are lapped as well. So if you're having problems working out who's who at the front, Don't forget, if we're not in a bunch, look at the distances, and that's how we're going to be able to work it out. Tonight's distance is 38 kilometres. I'll let you do the maths and work out exactly where we are. Let's get ourselves across very quickly. We're going to go dive over towards the course. Remember that map, remember the profile, because the key parts of this profile are where you are going to get the sections of the dip under the underpass, because that underpass and that rise is tricky. It's the steepest part actually, is climbing out of the underpass, and the turn round the top of the Arc de Triomphe is absolutely critical. So we're just rolling in at the moment, and the group are rolling their way in down around the group section round underneath the underpass. So let's go join them as they go in down underneath the underpass, and let's see if our helicopter can pick them up just as they come out of the underpass. And I don't think it's going to be too long before that helicopter kicks in, and we're going to be able to get a helicopter view of at least the back of the group. In fact, you just hear it coming into view now. So here it comes. Here the images live from the Champs-Élysées, watching Russ making his way up onto the back of the group. So here we are down on the circuit, down live in Paris for the Champs-Élysées. Yorkshire comes to Paris, and you can see at the moment the riders just alongside. You can see both of our beacons. We can't see the riders. We're going to get in down to the cobbles. And it looks like the feed has just died at the moment. That's just what we didn't need, which is going to make things very, very interesting indeed. We will soon get that back, I think. Let's see if we can pull the feed up. There we go. So the feed dying just as the tech plays silly watts. It's just what you always want. It's clearly the heat affecting the tech. Our riders on the way along the side of the Champs-Élysées. Now let's zoom out on the map. If you remember the original map, we're going round the Tuileries Gardens, which are down on there. We'll take the map out a little bit. Up on the top right hand side of the screen, as our riders are on the cobbles, just starting to bring themselves around, and this is a classic shot coming around by the side of the monuments, and they're going to be heading in and around towards the long straight which lines them up. You can see in the distance the Arc de Triomphe. So what a fantastic shot down there as the riders ride round. The riders at the moment on a 1%, but you can see how this section of course rolls. If you've ever ridden, if you've ever had the pleasure of riding down the Champs-Élysées, which is a bit taking your life in your own hands apart from when it's the Tour, you'll know it is really, really bumpy. It drops to -1 and levels off, comes back up again. Lots of regular riders in here. Chez Pridham is in and riding, and it looks like all the guys are in. Gail Phillips is in here, Phil Pearce, Darrell Clark is in as well, Jono's back, Maddie Smith is here, looks like Harrison's back once again. It is a real who's who with Russ at the moment sitting on the back. So here we go. So it looks like the guys are just making their way in. Let's have a little look and see who we've got in this group. Mel Blackford leading out the charge at the moment. Mike Killingsworth's back again. Great to see Carl Johnson with us. Looks like Greg Charlton's in. Becky Story is in. Kieran Smith is here. It's Craig Genther's in. Bradley Atkinson, Imogen Wolf, Dean Evans, Ian Beaton. Altaf's back. Good to have you in again. Altaf Hussein making his way back in here. George Cooper managed to persuade us that he has to be in it. And Stern McInnes as well. Stern sitting on the back of the group. So our group at the moment just making the way up the Champs-Élysées. They're now onto the 3% section of the climb. They've gone underneath the gantry of the main Zwift line, and you can just see they're heading up towards the sprint line, and this is where a lot of our riders are going to be looking out for the line. If you're on the sprint run in, there'll be no time to grab a drink, an OT energy drink, no time to grab a coffee, because this is where it gets very, very tough indeed. So I know for a lot of people, the first time they're seeing the Champs-Élysées course, and certainly the first time to ride on it. And the guys at the moment rolling up. Martin Bolt sitting on the back of the group, and they're just patrolling the back. Good to have Martin back again, and steadily making his way up here. So looking good at the moment. We just stay with Russ at the minute. So we make our way up here, kicking out 195 watts, just under 200 watts. The rider's looking pretty smooth at the moment, and Mr. Clark just dropping back towards the back of the group. One or two riders only just making it on time. That's not a problem. We like to see everybody making it in the end. So our riders well underway now. Underneath the sprint line they go. We can go straight through the gantry. The wonders of technology. So don't forget, you can grab yourself some Oakley goodies courtesy of 1080. 1080 in Taylor on the rise. Some fantastic ones. If you like the orange t-shirt I've got on now, then don't forget you can go on them. They've got the brand new ranges of Oakleys as well. At the end of the month we will be giving out the details. We will be giving out the details at the end of the month of who has won the Oakley Shades giveaway. But we're going to see who is it going to be who gets that. In the meantime, we're on the lookout for the riders who are going to do the business on the chain gang. Week in, week out, we're looking for stories. Chris Hestine James getting some great goodies. John Smith from OT doing the same. And as you can see, we're just circling around the Arc de Triomphe at the moment. And as we make our way around the Arc de Triomphe, we're going to drop down. And here we go. On to the descent we go. So, the big descent coming up. You can see it diving away in front. You can see just how quick it's going to go. With Bryce Smithy at the moment, the fastest of the riders through the sprint. Good to have Brian back on, another fellow commentator. Good to see Brian back on air as well. Absolutely loving all of the racing that we've had over the course of the weekend. I did raise the roof in the house here when the ride in was in the Milan San Remo, and it was so close. What a fantastic race, what a fantastic sprint, and to see two very contrasted riders, Alaphilippe and Van Aert, work their way through. Great to see the difference between those riders. Of course, Wout van Aert, a man who have had the pleasure of meeting on more than one occasion, just out commentating on the cyclocross, and actually got to see him in action at the Europeans over in Ipswich when we had the Europeans here, as well as having the World Cup at Milton Keynes. Great to see him dominating, and who says cross isn't a great basis for getting a great rider. So as our riders roll down, just seeing Russ just ease off a little bit at the back here. May well be just sorting out the fan. I think it's Oxford just in front. Got a couple of riders at 6 seconds. May well be Russ is waiting for them. Let's just take a little bit of a look back from Russ. Yep, you can just see it's already splitting up a little bit here. So Phil Pearce, I tell you what, Phil is up there at the finish. He's fighting for the sprints, but he's going back and picking up people and giving them a toe back on. It looks like at the moment Hussein just being dragged back on. So Altaf sitting on the wheel of Phil there, and Phil bringing Altaf back towards Russ and Simon Oxenham. Oxenham, another of our riders who will wait. So look at this. This is what we love about the chain gang. You have Simon Oxenham, you've got Russ Downing, you've got Phil Pearce, all riders who are absolutely flying, grabbing hold of a rider who's just dropped off the back on that little section and bringing him back up towards that front group as a trio. And that is what the chain gang is all about. Now, as you can see from the top right of your screen, we're just about to head in towards the split where we turn right. And it'll take us down along to the banks of the Seine. We'll go along the banks with the River Seine on the right hand side before dropping round now. You can just see Rossi's trying to just bring himself back into the screen. He's patrolling the back. I don't think he's going to get Martin Bottom. Martin rolling around at the moment at 3.1 watts per kilo. Russ just kicking out 6.6 at one point there. So around we go. Let's get up in the sky and let's have a little look. So we're heading towards the banks of the Seine. And you just see as we dive through the Zwift banners, the river down there. You see the boats on the Seine, lots of barges. If you've ever been in France, one of the key things you want to do, get on the Seine, get onto one of the boats, go have dinner on the boat. Absolutely fantastic experience. Definitely needs to do. Now, Phil Pearce is just with Charlton at the moment, and the Fat Cyclist has a well coming up. We could give you your correct name on Mr. Fat Cyclist, but that would spoil all the fun, wouldn't it? Let's face it. So one person we will give a mention to is Kooslugs, who is Michael Hutchinson, one of our regular riders, great man to have on the chain gang. It's good to see he is out and about. So let's follow a few of our riders as we make our way around. We're going to get around one lap and get back round past the underpass, and then we'll start featuring a few more of the riders who are out there after we've done one complete lap. This is where it gets really hard, and we're coming up towards the steep section because we are going to work our way in towards the tunnel and the underpass. So here we go. We're going to take the left-hand turn. It's 90-degree left as you would expect as you come away on the underpass, and we are going to drop down underneath. Now, if you remember the Hyde Park corner turn where we drop down under the underpass, it's a steeper, shorter version as our riders drop down to 5, 6, 7% on the drop. Instantly at the bottom, flicks over, and you see that gradient piling off and piling straight back on, and it goes right the way back up again, and it's actually a big 5, 6, 7% as you come up and over, and that shows just how tough it is. Now, that has shed 2, if not 3 riders off the back of the group. Let's have a check out of who just found that little bit of a drag up there, enough to push them off the back. I think Phil Pearce and Altaf just off the back. Just going to double check because it's got to just refresh. And it looks like off the back of the group this time, Ian Beaton this time with Hope Factory Racing's Phil's Pearce. Now, let's see what they're going to get up to as they make their way around. You can just see we're just watching this group coming through. So let's have a little look at Ian and Phil. Let's see if they're going to get themselves back on. So Ian just sitting on the back of the group. Martin Bolt, our red beacon, currently sitting at 53 seconds, but Ian Beaton on the back there. Just needs to close that gap down a little bit on this lesser gradient. Don't let that gap go, mate. Nice deep rims on their aero bike. Essential on this circuit, but not necessarily a disc wheel circuit because it is going to be tough on the way up those climbs if you leave it on. We've one rider just off the back. That is Ian Beaton, currently at 3 seconds. And Ian pushing 2.7 watts per kilo to try and get back on, but the group's riding at about 3. That's going to be a bit tough on the back. I think Phil Pearce just dropping back a little bit. I'm not sure whether Russ is going to be able to control that group for much longer. Now, Phil getting a really good workout here. Great to see Phil coming back. One of the good guys of cycling, and notorious for having a bell on his mountain bike at the National Mountain Bike Series. That is how serious he takes his riding. Very skilled rider, but here he is. He's sitting here, and you can just see he's going to pick that pace up now. And let's see if he can pull Ian Beaton back on. Ian needs to respond to this. Jump on the back of the group. Meanwhile, right up at the front, you're going to be seeing the guys coming through, and we're going to be running our way into the sprint section. Let's jump across to one of our really quick women here. So, Becky Story in the grey top, looking good up at the front. Deep aero wheels on there. I think they're going to be some big deep 808s. They certainly look like it, and we're going to see just how fast these guys go. We're going to be approaching the climb any second. So in we go towards that climb, and you can just see this is a big bunch up on the front. Becky kicking out nearly 300 watts at times here, going up to nearly 4 watts per kilo, but it means that she's rolling around the front of the bunch. If we spin round, Becky's just moved away over to the right hand side there. Becky, one of our very fast women out on the chain gang, and is definitely one of those really fast riders that you've got to keep an eye out for on the way through. Good to see Altaf move his way up near the front. Let's have a little look who else is up near the front of this group who's a regular in the chain gang. It looks like Gibbo's in here. Going to see Gibbo doing the business, Let's have a look at Mr. Gibbons in his traditional Peugeot. He said Peugeot strip. How appropriate can you get when you're here? Good kit, mate. Good choice. And again, aero frame, aero wheels on the bike there, just rolling around in the middle to the front of the bunch. If we take a little bit of a look back, just see it is starting to string out a little bit towards the back. Let's take a little bit of a look through, looking for some more of our regulars. Owen Davies is in again, good to see that. Trevor Crehan is back, good to have you back, Trevor. Andrew Corris is here, Russ Dolby is here as well. Looks like George Cooper rolling nicely in the bunch. Andy Hawes is back, the ultra slim down version of Andy Hawes. Andy is a definite Oakley addict, that is for sure. I'm sure he knows the guys at 1080 really well. So let's have a little look. Andy in his Alsos kit here, and Andy rolling along, and looks like relatively lightweight wheels for Andy. He's a powerful rider, that's for sure, and Andy at the moment holding in there. You can just see those gaps are starting to open up in the bunch. They need to close that down if the riders are in there. As they come up and round the top of the arc de triomphe, any of these gaps that you can see in there are going to be expensive, because once that gap goes beyond 6 meters, you have lost the aero advantage of sitting in the wheels. Now, are any of those gaps opening up? You can see there's a group forming on the front behind around Russ. People are going in to fill the gaps just in front of Gail Phillips there. Next one, we're going to see the guys have got in there. That gap is opening. Meanwhile, about a third of the way back, looks like Jules is really sprinting in to close that gap down. So just taking a look down through this group, it looks to me, as we watch Andy Hawes, most of the group is together. It's near the back of the bunch where you don't want to be, that danger zone. It's just opening up now. If the front push on here, the back are going to be in trouble, because the gaps are there. They're not huge, but they will open up very, very quickly indeed. So let's have a look. Another of our riders. It's good to see that we've got Rebecca Dawes, one of the RFDA squad. That's the Racing Female Development squad here with us. Rebecca riding in that blue camo kit here. And one of our younger riders here, Rebecca, just 17 years old, a young rider, just nicely tucked into that group, but she's got to stay in those wheels. Now let's have a little bit of a look behind. I think we've got Ian Taylor in the group. These riders need to push on if they're around this the back of the bunch. They cannot afford to stay at the back of the group, because if a gap opens, they're going to be in trouble. It looks like Ian Taylor from 1080 is working his way around this group. He's just here in the orange. Looks like Emma Payne just in front, and then Rebecca Dawes, and Harrison Crehan, Oxenham, George Cooper's there. Looks like Phil Pearce is in the same area, and the smart money is on those riders who push up now. Is Rebecca going to do that? Just seen Emma Payne do that. Seen Phil Pearce is just off the back of this group. He's with Shez at the moment. Now let's try and jump across. This is Phil Pearce. Now we've got a group currently at 20 seconds off the first group, and this contains Phil Pearce. Phil is one of our regular fast men, and he has been really, really good in helping people on. He has two riders with him in the black and yellow. That is Imogen Wolf. Imogen, another of our regular riders, one of the riders who we know is very, very quick, only 14 years old, riding with the experienced rider there that is Shez Pro Vitus, which is Shez Pridham of the Vitus Pro cycling team. Now I think if Phil kicks too hard, he's going to distance Shez and Imogen. Come on, Shez. Finger out, time to harness the power of the Oakley. Shez again with another of the big Oakley fans in amongst the group. Behind him then, there's a group at 26 seconds. There's a group at 1:04. And then Martin Bolt at the back. So as that group in front starts to open out, just see Russ is starting to come back. Let's see if we can see him just up the road. You're going to have to get round these bends. The gap was well and truly open. So Russ at the moment is currently 10 seconds down on the main pack. The 14 seconds on the group containing Phil Pearce, Imogen Wolf, and about 17 on Shez. Shade Johnson currently now at 34 with Beaton. and sitting at 1 minute 10, and Bolt at 1 minute 11. But I don't think now, as Phil Pearce been too helpful for people here, because Phil has been distancing. We know Phil's capable of doing well in excess of 8 watts per kilo, but he's caught in no man's land now. Are we going to see a call from Russ for some volunteers to go back to give Phil a hand, or are we going to leave him dangling? Looks like Russ is at 14 seconds. You can just see Imogen not able to hold the wheel. I think she's likely to find company from Shez, who's only about 13 seconds behind her, 12, 13 seconds. But can Phil Pearce, a man who has finished up at the front of the chain gang, get back in with this group? You can see on the top of your screen just how far it is. Come on, Phil, time to dig in here. He's on at 8.4. The message has come out from Russ. He's going to have to do it on his own. He's gone back to help out, and he's in trouble at the moment. You can see the yellow beacon. He's waiting. Russ is waiting. He's at 7 seconds. Phil is putting in a big effort, and this is going to cost him. And it goes into later in the ride, but Phil is the sort of guy who will do this for people. And you can see in front of the group, the budge is in bits and pieces. With Russ coming back and nobody holding the group together as they've gone up over the top. Here comes Phil Russ. Now's the time to kick, mate. Give it some big beans, because Phil Pearce is absolutely hammering on and through. Russ picks it up 11 watts per kilo to get in now. Luke Taylor's come back as well as Russ Dolby. They're both quick riders. They need to kick in now. They need to close down that gap. You can see the numbers coming in. Luke went up to 9. Russ is at 10. Russ Dolby, that is, and if you see behind, they're just going to close this gap up. If this working group gets together, it's a group of 4 riders, so it's Russ, Phil and Luke who are going to have to get together here. They need to wait for Luke Taylor, who's gone back, and they're just going to work their way in. Looks like George Cooper doing the same here. Cooper is going to jump on the back. Little George Cooper. George is one of our young riders. George Cooper is one of the youngsters. He's only, George, forgive me if I get this wrong, but I think you're 13 this year, if not 14, and certainly going up into the under 14 age category. You don't tell me you're still 12. Very, very quick rider, a very skilled rider as well. Now, looks like Luke Taylor just caught in no man's land, didn't get on the group as it came past. And at the moment, it is going to be Russ Dobby, Phil Pearce, Russ Downing, and young George Cooper, who've brought Phil Pearce back in. Now they've got Luke Taylor behind, and Luke Taylor is now the man in trouble. He's no seconds behind, but you can see on the road that gap is there. Meanwhile, the budge just holding all together. It looks to me as a drone camera has a little bit of a wobble on its way through, that group is pretty much all together here. So George Cooper of Sherwood Pines working his way back into that group. Luke Taylor needs to get on. You're getting a shout from behind because Luke Taylor's now being pushed to 2 seconds. He went back to help Phil Pearce, and the group in front have dropped him. So you're going to need a shout from Russ, I think, to push them back on again. So lots of PRs being set by people as this group rolls through, not least Luke Taylor. Let's have a little look behind. So the guys up behind, it looks like Luke Taylor and Phil Pearce are off the back here. They've got to roll their way back into this group. We're just looking back from George Cooper. Looks like Corris is going back here. He's just dropped the watts per kilo down. And we're just going to take a little bit of a look. He is indeed so. That's Corris, who's just dropping back a little bit here. Experienced rider Corris just making his way back towards this budge. Is he going to pull them back in? Here we go. So it looks like Phil Pearce and Luke Taylor. So Phil went back for Taylor after Taylor went back for Phil Pearce, and they're now just about all together. We're on the run up the hill. Remember, we've got this disgusting uphill run. So all our riders going through getting PBs for the lap now. Who's just been dropped here? Taylor, I think, is just feeling the pace a little bit. Crehan is not too far behind. Come on, Trevor. It looks like he's held in as long as he can, just sitting at 2 watts a kilo. And he's going to have company now behind him. We've got Shez, we've got Shade, we've got Johnson, and we've got Beaton and Bolt. So whilst this group at the front are taking it a little bit steady, let's just drop back. So first of all, Martin Bolt, our red beacon, he is currently sitting some 4 minutes and 7 behind the front bunch. Then we've got our duo, we've got Stanley as well as Beaton. So Stanley and Beaton are on the way up. Then it's going to be Shade and Johnson, our next duo. Let's have a quick check out here. So Johnson with the GCN kit and Shade in the brown camo kit. And then you've got Shez 8 seconds up the race. She's going to get some company here if she just eases back a little bit. And the Shade Johnson, the group, quite a quick group. Then we've got Crehan, who's just gone pop, I think, and he's going to be heading back towards Shez. So Trevor Crehan just easing off, and then we're on towards the back of the main bunch. Now, this is the back of the main bunch. What's happening up in front? Let's get the view up on the camera. Julesy just in trouble, and I think Bryce Smithy's the next rider whose legs may well have found these undulations just taking their toll, because it's Smithy who's off the back here. Come on, Bry! Not just walk the walk, talk the talk. This man can definitely talk the talk. A multiple-time British champion, a very fast man indeed. But he has spent less time riding recently and more time on the mic, and that will be costing dear. I know exactly just how that feels. The more time you spend on the mic, more standing up you do, and the more travelling you do, the less riding you get done. Then it's going to be Corris. Then there's another group of 4, so that is Emma Payne, Ian Taylor. It looks like Owen Davis in here, Jules is in here, Killingsworth just a little bit in front. Now, it is going to be about 10 seconds from the front of the group to the back, but it is in pieces. So the group that Russ is in at the moment, heading down, has got at least 10 seconds on substantial number of riders now. There's about 15 to 20 riders behind the front group, and it is starting to split up at the moment. So Killingsworth it is that we're seeing there. You see that group behind him just starting to jump back in towards him. Let's get back up into the camera up above, and let's see if we can just get a view as they come down. So it looks like Julesy is going through. So Jules is there, Emma Payne is there. It looks like Killingsworth and Taylor. If they close down, they've got Rebecca Dawes at 2 seconds. Then they've got Dickinson and Brownlee currently at 12 to 13 seconds. Let's see if they can get on. Remember, Luke Taylor at the moment is trying to push his way back in. Alan Parsons is right with him as well. So let's take a look up in the sky here. This is Luke Taylor, who's been distanced once already. He's pushing on here. Then it's going to be Bolsover District's Alan Parsons, followed by Paul Dickinson, another Bolsover District rider. Then 16 seconds behind is a group of 4, if not 5 riders, also trying to work their way on. So 3 big groups at the moment at the in the ride, but the very front of that bunch is splintered to pieces. So this is where we're going to see whether it's going to hold together as a chain gang. The front of the main group is definitely blown to pieces. So you've got the very front 26 seconds up on Luke Taylor. Luke Taylor has 16 seconds on Killingsworth and 30 seconds on a big group behind. So it looks like pretty much that bunch split by a minute from the very front to the back, and that is going to do some serious damage. Guys at the front, they think they're backing off at the moment, but they're still rolling round at 2.5 to 3 watts per kilo. In fact, I've just seen some 4s up there as well, and that is not going to let the group behind get back on at the moment. Russ at the moment is 10 seconds in front of Taylor, and that is, you can see on your screen above, is doing some serious damage. Let's try and jump our way back it down. Let's jump to Ian Taylor and the 1080 gang here. So this is the big chasing group here. Ian Taylor leading this group through. Rebecca Dawes is in here. Mike Killingsworth. Julesy is in here as well. We've also got Owen Davies in here. Then behind, 43 seconds back on them, we've got Brian Smith and Trevor Crehan. 3 minutes back is Rich Shea Pro at 3 minutes 16. We've got Beaton and Stanley behind this group, but from this group to the very front where Russ is rolling around, well, to Russ it's 40 seconds, and to the very front of the group it's 45, nearly 50 seconds in fact. So there's a minute behind this substantial group to the one in front, and that is what is doing the damage. Now you can see our riders in this group are working hard here. Ian Taylor, 1080, our fantastic sponsors are in there, and this group behind, let's have a little look, that is going to be 2, 4, 6 in this group. So the 6 in this group, they're now chasing Atkinson. They can make that 7. He's 5 seconds in front of them. So if this group works together, they're going to have the power of the drafting that you can see them in the distance behind Atkinson. Then in front of Atkinson, 6 seconds up the road is Harrison, and he's just giving it a big kick. I think he's gone. So Atkinson's gone. I think Brownlee is just pushing onwards here. He's going to try and get himself back into this group. So come on, Tiger. Time to give it some big beans here. Let's see if he can make his way back in. You can see that beacon though taking that left-hand turn behind Brownlee. It looks like this is going up. It's going to be interesting now. Brian Smith is just waiting for the group behind. Just got a message in from Brian. So Brian Smith is waiting for the Shez Pro group, and the groups are forming. It's so hot at the moment. I mean, Brian, he's down in Kent at the moment. I can only imagine just how hot this is. So Tiger Brownlee just about 6 seconds in front of Atkinson, who's about to be absorbed by Harrison, Dawes, Taylor, Payne Killingsworth group. They're all pretty much together as they work their way in towards the tunnels. It looks like the back of the main group, and I say the main group because it's still fractured. It's Struan McInnes and George Cooper. Now with Cooper at the moment, he's just going alongside the Sherwood Pines, the rider, moving up alongside Struan, responding to it. Struan, one of our fast men when it comes towards the end. Remember, we're out here for 36k, so we've still got a little lap and a half to go. Struan now pushing it on. George needs to respond to this. 5 watts per kilo coming from George, 4.7 from Struan. Struan getting himself into this bunch. This is the front group. Behind that front group, you can see in the distance there is nobody now in sight. So this is the leading group. So let's have a little bit of a roundup of the guys who are behind, and then we'll concentrate on the very front. So let's drop back to Stanley. So Stanley from Team Sheffield, he is in front of Martin Bolt. So Martin Bolt's our man at the back there. He's our red beacon. Then we've got Stanley from Team Sheffield. Then we've got the Shez Pro group. This is Shez Pridham with Carl Johnson and Rich Shade coming through. Brian Smith is currently 56 seconds up the road. Now Brian is going to get company. He's going to just, if he just pushes on here, Brian could close down on Trevor Crehan. And if we take a look back from Crehan, as Crehan goes down into the tunnels here, you can see behind him the figure of Brian Smith just dropping down and in. Then you've got Corris, who is currently 16 seconds in front of Crehan. Then you've got Harrison and Brownlee together. That's Brownlee and Harrison just coming up and past him. 21 seconds then is this next big group in front. So these guys are about halfway through the pack, and that is going to be Atkinson along with Dawes. So let's drop across to Rebecca Dawes. We've got Owen Davis sitting in here in the GCN kit. We've got Julesy from V10, so he's in there, 1080 man. And we see a shot of Ian Taylor. He's the man in the orange. So we're just with Dawes at the moment. Let's get across to Luke Taylor, who's a little bit up the road here. So Dawes, Ian Taylor is sat in the group there in the orange. We've got Emma Payne in there as well, just taking an aero boost on the way through, getting that used up before she comes in towards line, rolling at just under 3 watts per kilo. And this group are chasing 2 people, so it looks like Mike Killingsworth's in this group as well. They're chasing Paul Dickinson, Luke Taylor and Alan Parsons. That's this group of 3. They currently have 13 seconds on the group behind of Ian Taylor. It's now down to 12 seconds. Remember, the Dawes, Taylor, Killingsworth, Julesy, Atkinson pay group, they currently have a group numbering about 6 if not 7 riders. It's a really good group rolling on. They should pick up this group in front of Taylor, Dickinson and Parsons. Then in front, Andy Hawes at the moment. He is the man at the back of this leading group. Come on, Andy, time to push on, mate. Last big push to get it sorted. And you can just see there's some legs have gone pop there now. Looks like George Cooper has just backed off here. Is it the heat that's got to George? But he is being passed here, and looks like he is going to be out of that ride. So just taking a look back, let's jump into Russ at the moment. We're just going to have to get across, and I think George just out of the picture there, so either a dropout, so no George Cooper. This is the front group though, and you can see as they roll from the sprint line up towards the top that this group is well and truly spread out. Let's jump out on the map. You can see this group has got a real big spread from those going in towards the Arc de Triomphe. As you can see here as they make their way around, Kieran Smith currently leading our sprint for the men with a 9.36. In the women, it is Becky Story with a 12.72 for the women. Just watching Russ at the moment at 275 watts, 285 watts in fact, as the helicopter just zooms down on him, making his way towards the front of that group. Behind there are gaps that are opening up quite substantially. So as it stands at the moment, Russ just rolling his way up towards the very front of the group. So Rick King, Greg Charlton, Gibbo is up there. It looks like Nicholas Cook is in there, Russ Downing, the Fat Cyclist in there, Johnny Atkinson, David Cash, Glenn Turnbull, Becky Story, Richard Woodhall, looks like Jono's in there, Dean Evans is in there, it looks like Simon Oxenham, Lee Allen, Kieran Smith, A.D. Dench, Ian Legg, Dave Clark, Richard Peacock in there as well. Behind then, the gap has opened up, and I think, yeah, here we go, this is the group behind. It's a group with Phil Pierce. What is Phil doing today? Come on, Phil, focus, man. So Phil Pierce now is with Gavel, or Gavel. Should we go for Gavel? Mr. Gavel, and Blackford, and Vandergate as well. It looks like Mike Hutchins is a little bit further back. Altaf Hussein is in that group behind. So if we just jump to that group behind, this is the group with Flanders in there. It is Andy Fraser in this group. It looks like Whitehead is in here, Michael Hutchins is in here, Charlie Babbitt, Andy Hawes in this group. I think Maddie Smith is in a group behind with Gail Phillips as well. It is absolutely smashed to pieces behind the very front of the ride. It's groups all over the place now, and that is making things interesting. Just having a look, Maddie Smith is in here with Gail Phillips. Maddie, another former national champion, with Craig Ether. Looks like Gail Phillips is in this group as well. So Gail in the blue, just going past Maddie Smith. Maddie in the light blue. Let's see if we can get a shot of Maddie. So Maddie in the tax outfit that's going through. So Genther doing the business bird, looking good as well. Andy Hawes is in this group. Looks like Phillips just needs to push on a little bit more here to try and get into this group. Meanwhile, there are chasers all the way up the road. We're going to jump right the way up to the front. We're in with Russ now on the very front of the bunch, and the cobbles really are starting to get noisy. That's good because they get rougher as you move into different areas of the course here. As we make our way around, you can see at the moment the orange jersey being held by Phil Pierce. That's because he's done so much work chasing on, but this is our leading group now. Man to watch in this is the man who has won consistently. He's a very fast sprinter, Kieran Smith. Let's have a look at Kieran as we head around on to the banks of the Seine. Kieran is here, and you can see with the pink wheels, which means he's done 50,000 metres of climbing on Zwift, and this group is looking good. He's got Rick King in here, Peacock in here, Gavel's in here, we've got Legg, Allen, Pearson, Downing is in here. Who's going to have the biggest sweat puddle at the end of this? I dread to think, but this is a really good group behind, just looking for our next riders. Can't see them in sight, and just trying to look back through the stats to find you a time gap. The time gap back is now 23 seconds. That's to OZK, Whitehead, Fraser, Hussein, Hutchins, that's Kuslogs, Charlie Babbitt, all at 24 seconds. And at 50 seconds, Maddie Smith, Gail Phillips, Josh Bird, Andy Hawes. Then Craig Genthers, just a little bit of that group at 57. 134 is Gary Thornton, and then it's going to be Alan Parsons, Emma Payne, Owen Davis, Luke Taylor, Rebecca Dawes, Mike Killingworth, Ian Taylor, Paul Dickinson, Jules E, Brad Atkinson at 3 minutes Then it's going to be Brownlee at 3 minutes 47, Harrison at 5:43, and then we're in danger of actually getting onto lap now as we go onto this climb. This group is staying together, but look at those numbers on the right hand side of your screen. We're seeing red numbers starting to fire up on there, and that is because it is getting just so tough out there. Now the pressure's gone on the front. It really is starting to wind up here. These guys know that they are going to be absolutely hammering the way around here. So one more, if I get my maths right, it's one more circuit. Once we hit the line at this time, that will give us our finish at 38k. We've done nearly 30, 6.6 round, and we're on our way in towards the line with about 2k to the line. So that should give us our bang on our 38. We'll see what's going to happen. Kieran Smith nicely in this group, so it looks like Nicholas Cook is in here. Just going to jump across to Nicholas. He's one of the hot chili riders. You can just see here in the Sigma Sport kit. Interesting to see a number of riders riding in that kit, and they're always a force to be reckoned with. So we need to keep an eye out as these riders do the little slight dogleg that brings them round. Going to take the left-hand turn off around the side of the gardens past the waterfalls, and they are going to be heading in now. King is right up at the front here, so is Story. Story putting in a great riding yet again. A fearsome rider when it comes to riding in with this bunch. Really does know how to hold those wheels, and I think we could be in danger of seeing Becky Story rolling away right up to the front here. So it looks like at the moment Becky Story rolling this group through up on the front. Becky, one of our very fast riders, working her way around, and again another faster time in and through as they make their way through underneath the Zwift banner for another fastest lap once again. Clark now holding that fastest lap, and that was set this time around. Becky Story holding the women's fastest lap. That's a 9-minute lap at the moment, but you can see at the front people rolling in and through. This group is rolling currently around about 3.6. Above you'll see that there are riders at 6 minutes, but you need to watch the numbers as they go through on their distance. That's the key thing here, because we are going to see them catching up with the riders in front. Remember, these guys are lapping at round about the 9-minute mark, and that means if anybody gets to within 9 minutes, they're going to be close. Now they are 1 minute 9 on the back of Martin Bolt. He's in danger of being the first rider to be caught. 1 minute 6. So I think he's going to see this group come through. Bryce Smithies dropped back. He said he was going to drop back to Shez Pridham, Trevor Crehan, but I think he's literally dropped back and gone through that group just behind. So the group coming through, but look at the number of power-ups coming on. The gradient went to 2%, and the drafting has come in from these riders. Nobody wants to let that gap go, but it is taking its toll, and you can see the gaps are opening now. Riders who are struggling just dropping off the pace behind. Looks like it's going to be Jamie Pearson, the first of our riders, dropped off the back of this group as they came up the climb this time. Then it's Rick van der Gate. You can see the gap for Rick at the moment. It's 3 seconds, but when this group containing Turnbull come up to the top of the climb, we're going to see. So we're going to finish at the green banner next time round. Green banner next time round. Russ is going to be cutting it very close to that 38k. He's going to do it, I think, just about. We shall see. So the back of this group looking very, very interesting indeed, and you can see as he goes there. Now these riders that they went underneath were at 31.7 on the green. It's 6.6, 31.7 plus 6.6 is 37.38. I think Russ could be outside his distance here. I know he's going to be doing the maths whilst pedalling. I think he needs to finish on the orange banner rather than the green banner for the lap, otherwise he's going to be the wrong side of the finish line. We shall see. Saying green banner. Well, let's see if that's going to work for him. Always interesting when you're the very first group to use it outside of the tour or outside of the big Zwift events, because the distances are all very interesting to work out, to see just who's going to be here. Now, this is our leading group coming down here. You can see this pack is now holding together. The women's sprint and lap jersey with Becky Story in here, looking smooth. Looks like a Gaussian fat cyclist. He's got to be the man to watch out for. Is he going to roll them all? Remember, he's 100 kilos. Let's have a look. That's a 100 kilo avatar if I've ever seen one. So let's see if Russ is going to get this right. It's going to be very interesting. Let's see if that is where he's going to end up. So we're going to be on the original finish line, I think. Just double checking the chain gang. Yep, original line it is. Checking the quotes on the messenger, and looks to me like we're going to the original line. So we're going down past it at the moment, heading in the opposite direction. It's going to be the original finish line. The orange banner is going to be the one that the guys are going for. I'm going to see, it looks like it is going to be up there now. Russ wanted to use the green banner to get rid of the fat cyclist. I don't blame him. 100 kilos is a big amount of power. He's got to be the man to watch. You can see he's right in the middle here. He's rolling 300 watts. He's only kicking out 84 revs per minute. This is that leading group. Fat cyclist responding, saying he's got nothing. Let's see if that's going to be the case. I'm not sure we believe him. I think there is a degree of sledging going on here, because I think that's a sandbag, because I bet he's got plenty of power there. It's been very, very quick. Now, riders to watch out for. Watch out for Clark. Clark is a very quick rider. He's rolling round. Is he going to be the man to take them all on? We've seen the fat cyclist has been rolling along nicely. Riders that we've got to keep an eye out for, though, as they come along and through. Who are the real quick boys here? Well, riders to watch. Rick King is very, very fast. Rick could be the man who's going to try and break it up. Rick is sitting at the back of this group, but don't be fooled by that. We know he's fast. We know he's got a kick on him. Is he going to be the man who's going to be able to do the damage this time around? Because Rick has got a big kick when it comes to the hill. Stuart McInnes, a man to watch. Watch out, though, for Kieran Smith. Remember, we are finishing at the orange banner this time round. We're starting to see the power. Russ has got one rolling already. Here you can just see he's using that aero on the drop down. There's a lot of feathers being put in. You've got to play the cards you're given. And I think Rick King has just gone for it on the front on that climb, but he's not broken that group, which is taking a look back. Nobody has gone this time round. And Russ has gone for a long one. We're going to drop across to Russ. If you look back, you can see they're coming for him now. They're not messing about here, and Russ is going to be in the danger zone. Has he gone too early? I think he has. We are still a long way out from that finish. You can see it's done damage, so it's split the group. He has really caused some damage in the group there. But Phil Pearce is in here. Looks to me, though, like Kieran Smith is pushing on at the front of the group. Let's see if that's the man who's going to be taking it out. Is he the man who's going to be doing the damage? I think he's got to be. a big contender here. He's not the heaviest rider by any stretch of the imagination, but he could be the man who's going to take it out here because he is incredibly quick in the sprint. Don't forget, of course, we've got the only woman in this group. I think is going to be Becky Story. She's going to take the women's if she can just hold on in this group without going pop. But Kieran Smith is the man with the jersey. Now we're going to focus on Kieran as we come in here because we think, certainly in my view, that he's going to be the man who's going to do the damage. The question is, can he make it stick here? Here comes the kick. Here comes the power up. They're coming for the line. Who has got the timing just right? The fat cyclist kicks in here. He's got some big power. But Kieran Smith comes over the top and Kieran Smith takes it. So Kieran Smith comes through, takes the sprint win there. You saw those numbers come out, beating Nicholas Cook. Oxenham leg downing as the fat cyclist on the way through there. Some fantastic riding as these riders come in and through the line. We're just going to try and get back behind the riders who've just come in and through. Becky Story rolling away through. You can see just how much damage has been done. Now we're going to drop back across to the riders behind. Kieran doing an absolutely storming sprint there. Now the next rider who should be coming into the line, and you have to forgive me for this, we're just going to keep a double check. It is going to be Rick van der Gate. He's at 36k. Remember, lots of riders jumping in. Martin Bolt is a lap down. If you look at his screen, he's got 29.2k on it, which means he's got to go round once again. But Rick van der Gate not holding the group as they came in towards the finish. Behind Rick, it's going to be Phil OZK. And then Altaf Hussein. They're currently sitting about 48 seconds behind Rick, which means that Rick should be able to roll this in nice and steadily. He's going to come through. And then we're going to drop across. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be Michael Hutchins, who is at 27 seconds with Hussein. They're rolling just behind. I think it's another 500 meters behind Rick at the moment. So Rick makes his way in and under the arch. We're going to drop back now to the group behind. This is going to be a bit of a sprint in by these guys. I think at the moment you can see currently that is a group containing 7 cyclists at the moment. Whether they're all on the same lap, we're just scanning down this group. I think pretty much everybody is on the same lap at the moment, and the sprint has gone here. That's a dangerous thing to do at this stage, but it looks to me like it is going to be Hutchins who's going to get this as he comes in. Here he goes. Hutchins gets this. Then it's going to be Whitehead behind him as they come through, followed by Pearson, Flanders, Hussein are making his way in. OZK comes through as well. Now we're going to drop back to our next group. This is Bird on the front at the moment. Will Bird be able to hold these 4? Let's jump in with, let's pick our rider. Who's going to have the sprint tonight? Is it going to be Andy Hawes? Is it going to be Bird? Is it going to be Gail Phillips, or will it be Maddie Smith? Well, let's see whether Smith has got the kick today. No pressure, Maddie, but we're putting our money on you as you come up towards the orange banner. But at the moment, it looks like everybody winding it up as they come in and through. So it's going to be a Bird, Phillips, Hawes and Smith. Our next group down. They've got 57 seconds on the man behind that. Is going to be Mr. Genther. So Craig Genther, our next rider, he's at 57 seconds on the group who have just crossed the line, and he currently has 25 seconds on the next group coming in. That next group is the Thornton, Taylor, Julesy, looks like Killingsworth's in there. Those are riders with a little bit of a gap on Alan Parsons, Owen Davis and co. So a quick swing of the old OTE to get the old voice going as our riders come through. Craig just lining himself up now for the line. He's in front. Still 25 seconds on that group of Luke Taylor of Julesy as well as Dickinson. And just keeping an eye on them at the moment as they come through. Looks like into that group. I've paid it in that group as well. So Craig is just on his way in, and we're going to watch Craig make his way in through that line. So great riding by Craig Genther and another Donny Chaingang done. Don't forget, send us your pictures, tell us your stories from your ride tonight. Loads of prizes from 1080 as Craig Genther finishes. This is our next group, and Mike Killingsworth is in here. I'm not sure who I want to pick. Let's follow our sponsor from 1080, and that is Ian Taylor. He's our man, but we're with Luke Taylor, who is the fast man of this bunch. Ian Taylor for 1080 is up near the front here. Paul Dickinson is leading it out. This is a big bunch sprint as they go in and underneath, so it looks like it is going to be Paul Dickinson followed by Luke Taylor coming through. Alan Parsons, Ian Taylor, Glenn Thornton, Julesy, Rebecca Dawes, Emma Payne goes through. They've got the gap on Tiger Brownlee. He's our next rider. He's 53 seconds down on the group that have just come through the finish. So it is Brownlee making his way in towards that finishing line. Brownlee at the moment, and interesting to note, he's riding a very lightweight bike. So just hearing that Juan Antonio Fletcher just been keeping his eye on the live stream. Great to see one of our guests on the Donny Chaingang one. Come back and ride. We've missed you. We need you to come and have another ride. We'll see just how much form you've got at the moment. Of course, a former professional, absolutely top-class rider. In fact, I watched his stage win in the Tour de France back on the turbo the other day. Very interesting to see. Now, next group heading up towards the finish and going through the finish. It is Tiger Brownlee along with Atkinson going through. Great ride by these two as they come underneath the finishing line. Our next group behind, this is the group of Rich Shade, Carl Johnson, Sherry Pridham, along with Corrison here, which that is Andrew Corris from the Isle of Man. So an interesting little group here. Let's see who is going to take this out as they go underneath. So Rich Shade is in the camo, in the green camo. Corris riding at the moment in the blue strip there. Shez Pridham from the Vitus squad is riding in the white camo kit at the moment. So if we just zoom in on Shez there. And then, of course, Carl Johnson, he's the man with the GCN kits just alongside. So, Carl just moving into position 2 as we see Corris come around now. Shez coming through. This group's working really well together. Great to see this group as they come alongside of the Toulouse Gardens. Just going to be heading in towards the Champs-Élysées finishing straight. Let's see if they can finish it off as fast as Juan Antonio can on a stage finish. Soon to find out. Behind them then we've got Trevor Crehan and Scott Harrison, Martin Bolt out on the course as well, so we'll be watching them come in. Don't forget, guys, support the people who support your sport. The guys with the fantastic Oakley giveaway are the guys from 1080. Saw Ian Taylor out and riding on the Chain Gang. Fantastic Oakley caps. He's been keeping the sun from giving me an even more sunburnt nose than I've already got. Fantastic t-shirts, great cooling t-shirts. I tell you what, great for commentary, I have to say, super light. These are going to be hard pressed when I have to give these back up, but there you go. It's one of the perils, but great for the commentary. Not sure anybody would want them after the commentary, to be brutally honest, but there you go. Big thank you, of course, to Ian Taylor and all the guys at 1080. They're the guys supporting your sport. You want a new set of shades, you want a cooling t-shirt, you want the best baseball caps in the business. Make sure you do it if you need prescription lenses like me. Not a problem when it comes to Oakley's. Get yourselves down, give Ian a shout. Support the guys who support your sport. They're the guys who are looking after giving us giveaways of caps and t-shirts every week, as well as those shades at the end. So make sure you get onto them. Don't forget, if you need coffee, the only man with coffee worth buying, it is Big Ben Jenko, the Swanya of many, many years for the pro teams. He's out there working and delivering coffee all at the same time. A man who can multitask, and great to see him in action. I've seen some pictures of him already out on the courses, and fantastic to see him supporting the sport. So through the gantry goes shares along with Carl, Rich and Andy, and we're going to drop back our next rider behind, just dropping it down into the tunnel. Is going to be Trevor Crehan. Trevor, another of our regular riders, making his way in. Don't forget, of course, Wahoo, the best turbo trainers in the business. I'd say that because we've just got another one to supplement our stock. I say our stock, it basically means that we've got at least one working turbo trainer between everybody in the household. And the guys at Wahoo did a fantastic job. A big thank you to NRG. I was on it earlier on. A fantastic feel. The flywheel is absolutely brilliant and super stable as well when you're wanting to sprint your way in up a hill or into a finish. Doing the business much better than riding on a dumb turbo or one of the other ones that we've had over the years. I think it's definitely the best by far. Don't forget, of course, NRG have got some stock coming in of the new V5s. I think they've still got a few left this week. They are like rocking horse manure, so make sure you get in there early if you want the latest version of the kicker. They did have one or two kicker cores left, but not so sure they've got so many of those. But Wahoo doing a great job of keeping us all rolling. Don't forget, of course, OTE, the hydration, absolutely critical in this heat. And without the guys at OTE, we'd all be a shriveled up mess on the floor, never mind having any fuel to actually be able to ride. A big thank you to Pinarello and Halo looking after Russ's frames and wheels, and of course to the Mallorca cycling team, who are the guys out in Mallorca. We're looking forward to getting out there, so big thank you to Mallorca Cycling. It may be a little while before we're there, but you know what, we're really looking forward to that. A massive thank you to the guys at HMT Hospitals patching us over and over again, and of course a big thank you to Russ Downing and to Dean Downing of Downing Cycling, hosting this on the Downing YouTube channel, and great myself, Matt Payne from Full Speed Events. Looking forward to being back on the mic in real life, in the flesh, at an event soon. In the meantime, we're all commentating, whether that is in Spain, in London, or from our respective homes, because at the moment if you go out to an event you're in danger of getting stuck there. I know Ant McCrossan was saying he's got enough packed for 2 months for a 5-day trip just in case he gets stuck, heading out to I think to the Avenir at the moment, last I heard. But all of us having to commentate remotely at the moment and not seeing people in real life, and we're looking forward to when that's going to happen. Don't forget that we're aiming on bringing you the Donny Chain Gang all the way through winter, and to do that we're going to need your support. Remember, you guys are keeping us rolling through the winter. Still great to see the numbers rolling, heading up around 65, 70 generally on Tuesday, well over 100 on the Thursdays. We're back here in London on the Champs-Élysées once again when we come back on Thursday, and Trevor Crehan's going to see if he can beat his time around the circuit. The distance is just right. It'll be interesting to see whether we finish in the orange, the original lap arch, or whether we move up onto the hill, just so that Russ can get his sprint in on the way through. So as Trevor Crehan rolls his way in, and Martin Bolt now on the last leg through. So Martin, one of our regular riders, we'll say a big thank you to Martin and the guys supporting it regularly. Martin's been our red beacon at the back. He's been the man who's been looking after the riders if they've been distanced time and time again, and great to see Martin improving all the time, getting faster and quicker, and that's what we want to see. If you want the Oakley goodies, you need to tell us your stories. Go on that Facebook page, tell us how you're getting quicker. Warren Tony Fletcher, you don't count, mate, sorry. You don't need any of these goodies. You're quick enough and fast enough. But whether it's a story like Chris Heseltine James, whether you're a little bit banged up and getting back to fitness by riding on the chain gang, losing weight, keeping motivated, tell us your stories. Tell us how you managed to keep cool. Tell us how hot your thermometer went where you were training today on the chain gang. We want to see all those stories on that Facebook page. Very fast ride tonight at the very front of the group, absolutely smashing out PR after PR right the way through to Martin putting in another great performance here, and we're going to see him making his way in towards the line shortly. So as Martin rolls in, it just remains for me to say thank you very, very much for watching. Don't forget, we're going to be bringing you all of the action comes up on the chain gang. Don't forget, please support the guys. 1080, they're the guys who are giving you the prizes. Without 1080, We can't do giveaways of caps, of the t-shirts, things like the muck off. The guys who support your sport, name us, face us, internet sites, they're not the guys who are making this happen. Russ, myself, Matt Payne, and Dean, giving all our time up, literally giving it up to do this for you, and we're looking forward to bringing you all of the action. If you want to support us, if you want to sponsor us, give us a shout. Matt at Full Speed Events, Russ at Down Cycling, and we'll make sure that we can keep this going all the way through to the finish, which is where you can see just over there Martin Bolt is going to roll his way through. So well done to Martin. Thank you very much for watching. Mike, I hope I did the commentary justice, and we'll see you again on Thursday for the next Donny Chain Gang.